Hey guys, listen, it's the episode 34th of the Artistic Show, and I welcome you guys to this episode. Listen, we have had our fair share of problems with productivity, right? We want to do one thing, but we just can't focus on it for some reason. I have had that problem, and one of the problems that I had was when I was just starting my content, whatever you call it. I didn't have any proper framework or proper way to do this. But when I was starting to get a little bit more organized, a little bit more disciplined, by the way, let me tell you just a bit of a backstory. And the story is that I used to wake up at 2 o'clock. I used to wake up at 2 and 3. And then I was like, man, I'm healthy. Like, you wake up at 2 and 3. And now I think of that and I was like, how ridiculous that is. 8 to 9 to, maybe I even slept for 12 hours. You know how ridiculous that is? Like, you sleep for 12 hours? Like, what is wrong with you? And now I sometimes I look back and I beat myself up. I don't beat myself up, but I like I like to, like, who are that? Was that you? Like, you used to sleep for 8 hours, like 12 hours. Like, is that even you? So and even then, when I wanted to work on some stuff, I had some work to do. So when I wanted to work on some stuff, I just could not. I wanted to, but I just could not. I just could not focus. And I said, maybe I'm just lazy. I said that I'm not that productive. And I'm going to share with you a simple 4-step process which I have used in my life, and I know that has changed my life. I know many things, I have learned many things, and I have implemented many things that have changed my life. But if I wanted to, like, create it down, if I wanted to, like, chunk it down into some things, little things, or if you ask me, like, what's the biggest thing, or not necessarily the biggest thing, but what's the things which contributed the most in changing your life, so I would say that this process which I'm going to share with you, because when I started using this process, I saw that I can do so much more work in a little time. Like, the thing which used to take me, let's say 3 hours or 4 hours, I can do that work in just 2 hours now, because I'm more focused, I'm more productive. And that's what I think most of us are looking for. I know people who are just working in the name of working. Like, they don't know what they're even doing. They just have a to-do list. By the way, I don't believe in to-do lists. I think to-do lists are a dangerous way of planning your day. Like, it's just to-do list. I mean, who came up with this idea? I don't even know, but it's a ridiculous idea. And let me share my story with you. I used to plan my day when I was again getting more disciplined in my life and more organized in my life. Here's what I used to do. I used to plan my day on schedule. Like, from 1 to 2 I'm doing this, then 3 to 4 I'm doing this, and this, and this, and then it was a to-do list actually. Do this, do this, do this, do this, and then check. That was how it is. But you know what happened is, like, the same day I would plan my schedule, plan my day, and on the same day I won't just implement it. Like, the same day I just planned it. Like, come on, for God's sakes, implement it for one day. You're not implementing it even for one day. What's wrong with you? And I used to question myself, what's wrong with me? Because I know if I really wanted to go to the next level in my life, I need to have a proper schedule. I not a proper routine. Because some people might say that, oh my god, he has a routine, he's so boring. I'm not boring, come on. I have a routine, and in that routine I have so much adventure, so much fun, so much aliveness, so much energy, that it's just it's just outstanding, so and at first I thought that too. I mean, disciplined people are boring. They don't know how to live life. But that's not true. You can have discipline, but you can also have adventure in that time. Discipline means you are more focused. You are more focused on what you want. That's discipline. That's called a routine. That's called a schedule. And in that routine, you can also, in that routine of yours, you can also have adventure. You can also have fun. It's not like it's very disciplined. Discipline doesn't mean that you don't even smile. Like, I know most of you think that way. Because I thought that way. I thought that discipline is something negative. Because schools, again, the education system, it conditions you to think that discipline is something negative. Discipline is that's the education system conditions us to think. They make us think that I'm sorry, what am I even saying? They say that discipline is something like you have to sit in a chair. You must not look left or right or I messed up the directions, but you must not look right or left, and you must not even talk, and you must not even smile, and you must just stare at the board. That's what you must do. I mean, come on, that's not discipline. That's inhumane discipline. That's what it is. That's not called being human. Because humans are made to move. Like, that's why we have 2 arms and legs and all of that. We are made to move. We are made to do all of that stuff. We are humans, for God's sake. You can't make us just sit in one place and make us do all of those things. Even when you're learning, science shows that when you use all of your body, when you're completely engaged in the learning, whatever you're learning, you remember things more often, and you remember that thing for a longer period of time than if you're just sitting passively there. So that's what it is. So what is the 4-step process? What is the thing that I used that took me from taking getting up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then not having any productivity and all, and not having any direction? What is the step? What is the framework that I'm going to share with you? Let's start with this first. Vision. I always emphasize that you need to have a vision for your life. And the reason I use the word vision and not dreams or not something else is because a vision is something that you're clear on. A vision is something that you have. And you see, the problem that most of us do is that we have a vision for our life, but we don't break that vision up into tiny pieces for our days. Like, there's this big vision you have. Let's imagine you have this big vision. Like, you want to become the number 1 coach, or you want to become the number 1 whatever you want, the number 1 football player or soccer player, or the number 1 gamer in your industry, the number 1 FIFA player, whatever you want. But you see, that takes a lot of time. Let's just be practical. It's going to take you some time, right? You're going to develop the skills. What you must do is you must break that big goal you have, that big dream you have, or the big vision. The right word is the vision. The big vision you have, you must break that into tiny little outputs, and then ingrain those outputs into your day and into your schedule. Here's what I mean. You know why I don't believe that to-do lists don't work? It's just because of one thing. They just ask the wrong question. They ask you, what do you want to do, right? When you're creating a to-do list, that's what you're asking yourself. What do I want to do? That's a wrong place to start with. That's important, but that's only like 1/4 of the piece. That's a wrong place to start with. But you must start with is, before any activity, before any goal, or before any output, before planning your days or your weeks, or your big visions too, you must ask yourself, what is it that I want? Meaning, what is my output? And this is breaking your big vision into smaller visions. Let's say I am planning my day, and this is how I do it. I ask myself, what is it that I want for my weeks? My planning actually starts at a weekly level. What is it that I want for my week? Then I come up for outputs. And the outputs can be, I want to make major improvements in my health. I want to go to the gym for that. And then the outputs must be, I want to give to you guys. I want to create this videos with you guys. And the output can be, I want to make I want to make my friends feel loved. The output can be, I want to make my family feel loved. The output can be that I want to lead my team. The output can be, that's how the output is. I have big visions, but then I've broken them down into smaller outputs that I can ingrain in my week or in my day. So here's the first step. Before you start any activity, I mean it, you're starting any activity, take a moment to ask yourself, okay, what is my output over here? What is it that I want? Not what you should do, but what is it that I want over here from this? How do I want this to turn out? Like, what is it that I want over here in this activity? And then when you start asking that, and that's the first question, and then when you get clear on that, and sometimes, you might not be clear, and that's okay. Just trust, and whatever the answer that comes up in your brain, trust that and go for that. The second question you must ask yourself is, here's the 4-step framework. The first is, get clear on your output. Ask yourself, what is my output? And again, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, your output must not be a big output. Like, I want to be the number 1 FIFA player. You're not going to do that in your day, in your activity, or in the next hour, for God's sakes. You can't do that in an hour. So what you must do is, like, break that output into smaller outcomes. for, let's say that your output might be, or your outcome might be, outcome or output, it must be like, I want to practice my FIFA skills. That's it. That's your output. And then the second question you must ask yourself, and this is where the to-do list, that they do their part, this is where they start and end. This is not the whole piece. The second question you must ask yourself is, what's my plan? How do I plan on doing this? Like, what are the steps I need to take? First question, very quickly. First question, what's my plan? What's my output? What do I want? Second question, what is my plan? What do I want to, how do I want this to turn out? How do I plan on doing this? Like, what's my action plan? What are the steps I need to take? And you, let's be really honest, sometimes you might not even be clear on the steps. Like, you don't know what to do. Like, I mean, you know what you want. But by the way, that's a big thing. 80% of this, like knowing what you want. That's the big thing. It's getting clear on your vision. The second step, as I shared with you, is your plan. Whatever your plan is. Your plan might not be perfect. It might not turn out. But the only way you're going to know is if you try it, right? You can make all sorts of theories in your head. And yes, you can reduce the number of options available. But when you are in a place where you're confused, the only way you can do that is try it. And don't make this step complicated. This is a very easy step. You can do that in 2 to 3 minutes. But you must like trust and do not make this complicated, and in the start it might take you some more minutes. These are just four questions, two of which I have shared with you, but these are just 4 questions that you need to ask yourself in order to be more productive and do the work that you really want to do, create the outcome that you really want. The third question, and it's really important, this, you guys, this is the key, this is the jam, this is the real thing. And that is, how can I enjoy it? Like, how can I enjoy the process? I'm having the process, I'm going through the process, but how can I enjoy it? And sometimes you might not come with ways, but when you even ask that question, you open up your brain for possibilities. Like, there are many things you can enjoy. Maybe when you're practicing FIFA, you're completely immersed into the gameplay and you're like playing everything and you're enjoying the heat and you're maybe smiling and doing all of that stuff. There are many ways you can enjoy. And by the way, I ask this question when I'm planning my weeks, and then when I'm planning my days too. Like, I ask this question, like, how can I enjoy? How can I bring the joy? As Mr. Brendan Bouchard says, this awesome guy, please follow him if you don't. So how can I bring the joy? How can I enjoy every step of it? That's key. Right? You can do something and not enjoy it. You might want the outcome, but you still might not enjoy it. I mean, like, I want to record video. I want to give this to you guys, and I if I'm not enjoying this, I might be speaking like this, like metaphor.com, and I won't mean anything. And I won't, like, if I'm not enjoying it, how can you guys, right? So just enjoy everything, every activity, every step you have. And the third question is very critical. You miss this, I'm telling you, I have no guarantee for your productivity. I have no guarantee for your focus. So please don't miss this. This is important. How can I enjoy this? And the fourth part is the scheduling part. This is where you need to schedule it. And this is where you ask yourself, okay, what is the block of time that I'm associating to this activity or this outcome? And let me tell you something, why blocks of times are important. Because you can be doing something for, let's say, 2 hours and still not do anything, right? Has it ever happened to you? Like, you want to do some activity, but then 2 hours pass by and still you didn't achieve that outcome, right? Sometimes that happens. So, and having a clear time, it gives you a deadline. And if you don't have deadline on your goals, there's just dreams and you don't know when you're going to achieve them. So having, and this is my personal experience, and I have learned so much from this, is that when you have a block of time, when you associate a time, you're just more immersed into it, like, kind of like you're just more productive. I don't know what happens inside, but you really focus on the activity, on the outcome that you have. I mean, you have a time. And here's another key, because I love you guys so much. So here's another key, and the key is, when you are run out of your time, whatever time you allocate, you say, let's say you give 50 minutes, an hour, or maybe 2 hours, just stop doing it. Stop doing your outcome. Whatever your outcome is, when you run out of time, just stop. Don't push yourself. Don't burn out. Even if you are creative, even if you're in the flow state, just stop for a second, and then stop for maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then you can come back if you want to. But take that stop, take that pause. I've learned this, that when you take pauses, and when you take, like, these are like checkpoints, when you take them, it feels so good. It's like you regenerate your energy. So that's all I have for you guys. Remember these 4 steps. Again, I'm gonna do this again for you. These 4 steps are: number 1, and repeat this with me. With these 4 steps are: first, you must ask, what is it that I want? What's my output over here? The second thing you must ask is, what's my plan? How do I plan on achieving that outcome? Third thing you must ask is the very critical question, and that's, how can I enjoy every bit of it? How can I bring the joy? How can I enjoy every bit of it? The fourth and the last question you must ask yourself is, what is the block of time that I'm associating to this activity, to this output? Whatever the block of time is, how much time you associate. So when you ask those 4 questions, let me tell you something. I used to work out, and I work out even now. So when I plan to go to the gym, I don't say, okay, go to the gym 4 days a week, from this to that. I ask myself that, what's my output? My output is not to go to the gym. My output is to make major progress on my physical strength and my physical vitality and body. That's my output. My output is not to go to the gym and lift weights. My output is to go to the gym and feel vital. My output is to go to the gym and make progress on my vitality, on my energy. That's my output. And okay, what's my plan? I have a workout plan. That's what I'm gonna follow when I get there. Okay, I follow that. And then how can I enjoy every bit of it? I mean, I could be doing weights, but what if I'm not smiling? I mean, what if I'm not enjoying, if I'm not in it? Like, really, I'm not in the flow state. You're in the flow state when you're really interesting, and when you're really interested to the activity, and when you're really enjoying. That's what you're in the flow state. And the fourth question I asked, what's the time? I didn't go there and I don't go there for 3 hours. I go there for an hour or so. So that's the time I have. So I have a fun little abbreviation for you guys so you can remember this. That's OPET. Output, plan, enjoyment, and time. So that's OPET, or maybe OPET, whatever you guys like to call it. So before every activity, before any new activity, you're starting a new activity, you're planning your days, you're planning your weeks, maybe you're planning some big things in your life, planning some projects. First step, you follow this framework, and I can guarantee you that you will see that you'll notice a change in your productivity, in your focus, and in your results that you're going to create. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for listening to me. And if I've added some value to you guys, and if you feel like that you've really learned something, go down and hit the subscribe button, because it really means a lot to me, and I love you guys. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and everything is down there in the description. Go read the description, and I can't wait to see you guys on Instagram. So that's it. I'll see you in the next one.